I feel like my viewpoint about the neck differs more than any other viewpoint about the body. And that is typically the neck, people want to strengthen the muscles of the neck and to make the neck more mobile. I actually feel that the neck is overused and overmoved, and the muscles are overused, and typically what happens is the neck muscles are locking up and they're getting fatigued and they are overworked and they're being asked to do too much. So that when that happens, muscles only know how to do one thing. They tighten up and they kind of lock up and they become less functional, because the longer a muscle is, the more function it has, the more range of motion it has to cover, the more it can be asked to do. And when a muscle doesn't want to be asked to do more, it shortens. And that's the contraction, that's the tightening. So your neck muscles are tightening. And I ask myself, why are they tightening? Probably either to protect an injury or because they're tired. And so do we want to undo that? Because the body most likely is doing this for a reason. I don't believe that the body is doing this to hurt you or to be a nuisance. I believe that there is a reason behind it, and we have to try and understand why that reason is happening and respect that reason. So if they're tightening for a good, valid reason, maybe we don't want to ask them to do more, or strengthening a muscle requires it to do a lot more than it's used to doing. So we may be best off actually trying to help that muscle out. How do we do that? Well, we get the other parts of the body closest to that part of the body to do more. And typically that's going to be the thoracic spine, which is the predictable area of the body that doesn't do enough. It gets stiff. All the ribs around the thoracic spine cause it to not move very much, and people just get really stiff and rigid in the thoracic spine. And that's why the neck has to do so much and the lower back has to do so much. And then you have this chunk of spine between the neck and the lower back that doesn't do very much. Typically not the one that gets the repetitive trauma injuries, and the areas above and below it do get the repetitive trauma injuries. So it's just that my recommendation is focus more on the thoracic spine, get that as mobile as possible so you're moving from here and not here, because there may be an injury in there. It might be C3-4, and that might be why that area tends to get so stiff, is because your body is trying to protect it from getting more injured. And the muscle is the only way that it knows how to do that. It's the only tool that it has. So hopefully that makes sense. So foam roll thoracic mobility. You can even get manual therapy on your thoracic spine, and then training yourself how to move and use that part of your body and actually take the focus off the neck. And see, I'm not saying don't use the neck at all. Just when you think about looking up or something, see if you can focus on doing it from a little bit lower down. And so all that energy that you're putting into the neck goes lower into the body. And that might be helpful. Hopefully you find that helpful. Thank you guys all for being here. Until next time, down on the floor and connect to your core. See you next week.